Hi guys, welcome to the channel. In this video, out of all of the skills that are required to take advantage of the AI revolution that's coming, this is the most important. And that skill is prompt engineering. So if this is your first time watching, I'm Sam Graham and I've just started my own AI automation agency. And I think the video I did last time where we went into the different large language models maybe didn't do them justice, as some of the prompts are very basic. But in this video, I'll show you how important they are. We'll go through breaking down what makes a good prompt, how to put them together. I'll give you a framework of what I use to give me the best outputs and everything in between. So yeah, let's dive straight in. So prompt engineering, what is a prompt? So prompt engineering can sound a little bit complicated, but it's literally just what you type in this box here. What instructions do we give the large language model? What input do we give it? What can it be used for? Creative writing, email drafting, content creation, data analysis, analyzing sort of legal documents, all of these things. But the real key point to understand here is you're only going to get a good output if you create a good input. So the framework that I like to use is here. So it gives the LLM a role, you give it, you're clear what task that it needs to carry out, you give it context in terms of your situation and what the information it's going to give you is going to be used for. You can give it some examples, so you can give it examples of your work, your emails, you can give it examples of other people's work or other people's books and things like that, and it will use their tone and take that for its output. A lot of time you will need to give it a structure. A lot of the outputs you will get, if you don't specify exactly what you want, it can ramble on, giving you way more information than you needed. And then some notes that we'll get into later on in the video when I'll show you some examples. So let's take an example here, something maybe a bit different, say a movie review. So if we go to ChatGPT, literally write me a review of Shrek. So as you can see, you're going to get quite a comprehensive answer here. That's just how good these models are now. You say you put something quite basic and it still give you a really in-depth, high quality answer. But it's only high quality if you wanted all this information. So as much as it's very useful, if you're looking for a one paragraph or one sentence summary, this isn't what you want. So you need to dial in your prompt, make it more specific, and then you'll get a better answer that you're looking for. So let's let this finish. So as you can see, you've got a four or five section review along with a final verdict. But let's say you wanted to, you wanted to write a social media post. You don't want to be putting all of that in a social media post. So let's go back to the framework that I gave you before. So let's first of all, let's give it a role. So let's start with, you are a expert movie reviewer who has extensive knowledge about all films, and you are very articulate and can create engaging reviews. So right, that would be the role part of this. So we can have a look at that, and let's go to the next one. So task. So please provide a review for the film Shrek. Let's give it some context. So context, it's I run a company that reviews films online and want to create a blog about this film. As you can see, we're starting to give it a lot of information. So now we really want to dial in what output do we want. So please provide 3 sections: an intro, themes, and summary. Please make the entire review under 500 words. And then notes. So this is really important. So depending on how much, with automation, the notes part can be some of the most important sections, because this is where you get it to remove anything you don't want. Yeah, let's try for that. Okay, so here you've got you can see it's a completely different structure. If we have a look at, yeah, I'm just looking at some of the language it's using. It does seem to be more articulate, giving you sort of using a wider vocabulary. But still, to me, this looks a bit long. So some of the things it's including aren't really things I'm interested in, soundtrack and things like that. So I didn't ask for any of that. So let's say, please make it more concise. And focus on the key themes and characters. Let's try again. So this is a common theme, as you can see with these LLMs. You a lot of the time will have to repeat yourself over and over just to get it to exactly how you want it. However, then you can take all those things you've suggested, put them into one prompt at the start, and that will give you the reliable output you're looking for. So yeah, so this seems a lot more, it's much more concise, much more readable. Hasn't got anything about the soundtrack and things. Oh, it has a bit there. But yeah, that just gives you some example of the difference in outputs you're going to get depending on what you put in. So let's write this prompt out together. We can have, so let's say we're doing it for a marketing campaign. So let's do role. You are an expert marketing manager who is articulate and has extensive knowledge about fashion brands. Right, task. So I will provide you with a link to an advert. Please advertise and please analyze this and apply it to my own brand. I own a sportswear clothing company who targets males 50 plus. Who targets males 50 plus who are out of shape and trying to get fit. So it's always good to give them a bit of an idea about who your target market is in this section, just so it can tailor its response to them. So the example, what we can do is we'll actually put the Nike video. Maybe it's not the best one, as I know this is all about females getting back into sport, just female sports, but we'll go with it anyway and see what comes out. So yeah, we'll put that there. Structure. So please give me a 5-section, 5-point output with a maximum of 200 words per point. Include a summary section and suggestions for the campaign. Notes. Do stick within the word count, and it is important to aim it at my target audience. So when I was talking about, this isn't the longest of prompts, they can be a lot longer than this just for demonstration purposes, but with this at the end, it's really important. The things that are really important, the fact that we mentioned who our target market was in the middle, because it's such a small prompt, you'd expect it to find that. But say if this is a 1,000-word prompt and you've just got this one bit of key information right in the middle, it can overlook it. So again, it's best to put that in the note section at the end. And yeah, so like I say, this should give us a much more accurate, let's go with this time. Let's try that. So as you see here, so we've got a really good output. And in terms of why I think it's really good, is it's given us exactly what we asked for. It's given us 5 key points, 5 key points here. That is exactly what we asked for. The structure is exactly the same. So each point has no more than 200 words. So that's something we can easily forward on. It's analyzed the video, the concept within the video, which isn't down to necessarily our prompt, but the example we gave it. And if you look here, it's got some really good insights in terms of how it adapts to our target demographic. So yeah, I think all in all, you can see we could have just put in there, give me a marketing strategy, but we didn't. We gave it a full framework of the framework that I suggested here, and that's the sort of not there, sorry. And yeah, and that's the sort of quality output you can get. So you can take this framework, apply it to anything. So whether it's content creation, whether you're analyzing documents, like I say, those key points transfer across anything that you want to input into these LLMs. Avoid using the same word in different contexts. So say, for example, English has the difficulty of a lot of words have double meanings. So just be careful when you're referencing a term, say, for example, a lead. Don't then go and use lead by example when you're talking about lead generation, because like I said, they are getting much better at it, but that can still confuse the models a little bit, and you might get a mix up in the output you're getting. And yeah, under specifying format, I covered that before in the structure part of the framework, but if you do ask it a simple question, you could just get like a 3-page answer when you just wanted a one sentence response. So looking at this in terms of an automation perspective and why this is so important. So the general examples we've just gone over there are quite just user-friendly examples. But if you're using this for a business and within your automations, you need to be certain that these outputs are going to be reliable and they're going to be high quality. So that's why it's really important that, for example, using this as a chatbot, you can't have a chatbot giving different answers to different customers at each time. So you need to have covered every single possible eventuality that chatbot can come out with to make sure that it only outputs the exact response you want, so your customers are going to get a consistent experience. Again, with a lot of automations, you'll actually be tying these tools together. So you need to make sure, if it's sort of like Chinese whispers, if you get one, say you've got three AI tools you're connecting together. If the first one gives a slightly different output, and the second one gives a slightly different output, and then the third one gives a slightly different output, what you put in compared to what you get out is completely different. So yeah, a lot of this prompting when it comes to automation comes down to the reliability and being able to replicate it identically and not have to worry about different outputs coming out and it confusing the later steps. So you need to know, right, if I put it into AI tool 1, it will give me this output, exactly the same, what I need, maybe within a certain guideline. So it will be creative enough, but it will output in a certain format that's going to be within, it won't include anything you don't want it to include. And then you can know that reliably you're going to put that into tool 2 and it will do the same. And that's really where the power of this comes from. So you can get real high quality outputs, but you can make sure they're consistent, reliable, so you can automate and scale. And then lastly, so actually system and user prompts. So what I didn't explain before earlier. So a lot of this, I'll go to where you can experiment with some of these yourselves. So if you've got an account with OpenAI, we can try the OpenAI playground. This is where you can create and sort of tailor your prompts to fine tune them effectively, and to go quickly into system and user prompts. If you've been into AI automation at all, you probably know this, but those of you who don't, the system prompt is, if you look at this framework, it's pretty much the top 3 of these. So basically, you're giving the system message is, this is what you are, this is your context, this is your task. And then the user message, the user prompt will be the request you give it. So yeah, if you ever see that in terms of the automations, the system prompt is really the bit that you need to get locked in to make sure it's reliable, so it understands everything. And then the user prompt will just be what you're inputting, and then it will already have the system prompt locked in to get you the output you're looking for. So yeah, I'd suggest have a look into the OpenAI playground, have a look through different models, because again, with all of this, all of the models interact differently. So what you input into one model, you might get slightly differently in another one. And that's why it's important to try all these different prompts on the different models to give yourselves the best out. So yeah, that's it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video and see you on the next one.